Right, YouTube University, how y'all living? All right, so boom, gotta start the day decent, right? Of course, coffee, eggs, turkey sausage, croissant. Don't got orange juice, so I went to ginger ale. And I'm gonna get dressed in a second and then go ahead and head out and about. Until then, I gotta grub. Be right back. Came over to Target real quick, but let me take this off. Wow. Randomly, all right? So my homeboy, Reg, had called me, right? And what we was talking about was he had called me and he had randomly hit me like, bro, I'm proud of you, you know, getting back with the YouTube thing and all that. Like, I see you doing your thing. But I was half asleep when he had called, so I was barely responsive. I was laughing. I was like, yo, appreciate you, bro. Thank you, bro. And then he hit me and said, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I'm taking off today. I said, you taking off today? I said, why you taking off, bro? He said, man, my mental health. And the thing about Reg is a consistent worker, bro. Reg do not take off, as far as I know, right? But it made me think, you know, just because you want to take a pit stop, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes that's what life calls for. Sometimes in life, that's just what you got to do, you know? I get it. Consistency is constantly doing a thing that you have to do even when you don't feel like it. I get it, right? But at times, there is such thing as executive order where a certain decision overrides the previous decision. I'm not saying do it all the time, but there are times where you have to choose mental health. I know this sounds crazy. There are times where you have to choose mental health over responsibility. They got a game on Roblox called Dead Rail. It's pretty fun. You still play Roblox too?
Yeah.
Last time I cut my own hair, I did something with a 2-guard. So, I'm gonna give it another try.
Hello?
Hey guys, this is Matthew, Magnificent the Barber. Give you a call back.
Hey.
How you doing, brother? You busy at the time?
Nope, I'm free to talk.
Okay. Quick question. So have Go ahead, Juice. He's not a starter, Juice.
Yeah, so I just needed something just to hold me down for a little bit. Not bad. I ain't lined up the top of the beard because I want that to grow a little bit. Yeah, just something to hold me down.
Puffy, hold me down, baby.
Pros and cons to being a barber. I really don't like cutting my own hair though, but it's something that I'm starting to do. Believe it or not, I've been cutting hair for a year now. 10 years, a decade. I started in 2014 in barber college, and then I started cutting with my license in 2016, but I started working in a barbershop in 2015, so I've been cutting for a decade now. Getting old. I probably should have been recording while I was driving, but look, I found this in my freezer. I forgot I had this in there. And it was a little bit more than half. And then I poured some of that Jack Daniel in his joint, and I felt decent, and I forgot to even hit the record button. I ain't gonna lie. I think I'm gonna finish this though. But yeah, and then that's it. All right, other than that, see you in a second. Hold up.
she can't tell parts from the show.
That's sad. How I can't tell part? I'm thinking he know. I'm thinking both of them know. Both of them telling me, yeah, that's a good show. That's a good show.
They might not have season 8 because I think it's might be only on Hulu and Crunchyroll.
And you watched all of season 8, right?
Not all of it. I'm to the point where the green-haired guy entered and he saw the explosion guy dead.
When God created us, he knew what he did when he created us. He knew that he was putting in us the trait or characteristic or whatever it may be of desire, right? And when he put it in us, initially desire was supposed to be Matthew 6:33. Matthew chapter 6 verse 33. To seek ye first the kingdom of God and all things of his righteousness, and all things shall be added unto you. That was the original intent. But this is why David wrote, I was wonderfully and fearfully created. The marvelous part is being made in God's image, right? That's the marvelous part. But then the fearful part is the fact that we were made in God's image. We were wonderfully made by God and fearfully made by God. The greatest thing that God did for us was give us the power of choice. The most harmful thing that God ever did for us was give us the power of choice. Say all that to say this. The fact that desire was created within us by way of God for him. But when it becomes perverted, it turns into something that's negative and harmful, right? And we attempt to fill this void within ourselves with substance abuse, addictions, pornography, womanizing, alcoholism. I said substance abuse already. On and on and on. All the negative things. It can even be death scrolling. Scrolling on social media too much, right? So I say all that to say this. That desire that you got, you need to really assess what you got going on in your life. And are you giving all your works to the Most High? You ain't gotta be perfect. I ain't perfect, but I'm still a work in progress, just like you. That's why we found each other. That's why you connected. That's why you on here listening to me right now. We both trying to figure this joint out. But I'm just saying, let this be words of encouragement to you, right? Does your desires truly reflect that you are seeking ye first the kingdom of God and all things of his righteousness? Are you doing so? Or are you attempting to fill that space in your life that from the beginning was created for God? Are you attempting to fill that void with death scrolling, addictions, marijuana, pornography, womanizing, alcoholism, whatever it may be? You know what I'm saying? You need to ask yourself, like, what are you doing with your power of choice, right? What are you doing with your power of choice? That's the question. What are you doing with your power of choice? So, yeah, come see. Outside of that, Matthew 6:33. Till next time. Wow.